If you struggle with sleeping, you may be asking the question, can I actually catch up on lost sleep? So let's say, for example, because of the weekends, because of work, or whatever it may be, you just aren't able to get the necessary 8 hours of recommended sleep. Well, you might actually be surprised, but a lot of research shows that you can't actually pay off that debt. So in today's video, we're gonna go over some of the research involving sleep debt and see if there is any evidence or any good research that might suggest that's something that you could pay off, or does it look like student loan debt? So let's get into it. What's up guys, Coach Eric Bowling here. Look, if it's your first time to the channel and this is the first video you're watching where you're like, who the heck is this dude and why should I listen to him? Let me just go ahead and say welcome. I've been a health and fitness coach and a personal trainer for the last decade, and my specialty has really been helping people get into the best shape of their life. And now the real point of this channel is to pretty much just take all the confusion that is surrounding the health and fitness world and really just make it very simple for you to understand how to put it into practical steps to apply it to your own life so that you can get in the best shape of your life. So now when it comes to sleep, we all know sleep is very important. How important? Well, it's probably the most important thing that is going to contribute to helping you get in the best shape of your life. A lot of people are surprised, but they think that, just putting themselves in a normal calorie deficit and working out consistently can help them get in good shape. And while that is true, you might be surprised that if you just slept better, that might actually handle itself. In fact, there's a really big correlation between obesity and the amount of sleep that a person gets. And even if that research is more correlation and not causation, just from the clients that I've worked with over the last decade, I have seen some pretty strong correlations with poor sleep and poor body composition. And there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, we know the more you sleep, the more fat you burn. Number two, we know that sleep controls anabolic hormones and androgenic hormones, like all the sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, IGF-1, and growth hormone. And if you don't know what any of those names mean, don't worry. Not a lot of people do. Just know those are the sex hormones that you naturally produce when you go to sleep. And those are the ones that are pretty much responsible for how your muscles look, the muscle tone on your body, how much fat you have on your body, your ability to burn fat, how much muscle you have, your strength, your energy, etc. And so these hormones, we have to make sure that they're being optimized. And so research shows that those things are pretty much controlled and dictated by sleep. And so we know we should be getting anywhere between 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which is the recommended amount. But what do you do if you can't get that amount? Can you make up for lost sleep? And this is where this whole idea of sleep debt comes in. Now you might be surprised, but one study actually found that sleeping in on the weekends did not have any change in reversing metabolic dysregulation when it came to lost sleep. So the first thing we have to look at is what's sleep, right? And the easiest way to explain it is sleep is pretty much when your body goes into a repair mode. It's repairing all the damage that was done to the body. It's processing everything that was learned. And it's doing a lot of other metabolic functions to make sure that you are ready to go for the next day. So if we know that sleep is really about recovery, repairing, and processing, we have to ask the question, well, where's the debt happening? So if your goal is to build muscle, your body might not even be getting to that stage because it has other things to worry about. Let's say you're trying to study for a test or you want to learn something new. Well, if you're not getting the necessary amount of sleep, you might not be getting to that spot where you learn. And now this is actually really interesting because this is the whole idea behind why sleep is so important. This could also be the reason why you don't retain information, you have a bad memory, you're not burning fat, you're not building muscle, etc. The list can go on. The answer is probably you're not allowing your body enough time to get to those things. And you see, for some people, this can be so revolutionary because they're like, oh my God, this makes so much sense, right? I'm not getting enough sleep. My sleep quality sucks. That's why I'm not seeing any type of change in my life with my body and my learning abilities, etc. And because sleep works on a cycle and it is processing things on a daily basis, well, in theory, the sleep debt occurs, but it's not actually something that you can make up. It's not like your body remembers, hey, 1 year ago, remember when you did that workout? Well, you didn't actually get enough sleep and I'm still holding on to that. So if you take a quick nap, maybe we can get to that. So you see, that's not really what's going on. What is going on is we're just looking at the difference between how much you should have been asleep and how much you're actually sleeping. And sleep debt is just an abstract thing to define the difference. It is not necessarily something you can make up the same way you could potentially pay off financial debt. Now then again, it's not to say that a nap here or there can't make you feel better. If you're normally getting 5 hours of sleep on the weekdays, and then on the weekends you're able to get 8 or 9 hours of sleep, that is only going to be beneficial, but it's not necessarily saying that you can catch up. So honestly, the best piece of advice I can give is the past is the past. What you need to focus on is developing a routine that you can stick with. And you see, this is really where creating a good routine for sleep becomes so important. Now you'd actually be surprised because a recent study that came out of the University of Otago showed that more sleep did not necessarily equate to a better feeling of well-being. In fact, it actually led to more depressive symptoms the same way that lack of sleep did. So usually a good ballpark is going to be around the 8-hour mark. Anything beyond 9 hours and we start to see the benefits drop off and we start to see the same negative effects that low sleep can have. What I always suggest for sleep is try to aim for around 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which is the recommended amount of sleep. But in worst case scenarios, when you can't even get the recommended 7 hours of sleep, what you need to focus on is maximizing sleep quality. And this is another thing that research is really showing, is that sleep quantity does not necessarily beat sleep quality, because sometimes sleep quantity might not actually reflect deep sleep. So if you get 8 hours of sleep, but that sleep you're only getting into the beginning cycles of sleep, which is the very light stages of sleep, versus someone who is only getting 6 hours of sleep, but is hitting multiple REM cycles, the person getting less sleep is actually going to have better sleep and better recovery than the other person. This is why I can't stress enough that you guys need to be making sure you're doing everything that you can to prioritize quality of sleep. And if you want to know more tips on how you can improve your sleep, create a better cycle, maybe fix insomnia if you just cannot go to sleep, then go ahead and watch that video that I did right up there, because that video is going to give you some better ideas of what you can start implementing to get better sleep. Now let's say you're watching this and you're like, you know what? I don't get that much sleep, but I don't feel that bad. Recent research has shown that people can actually adapt to chronic sleep restrictions, meaning that you can have all the physical and mental signs of someone who is not getting enough sleep and actually operate and feel 100%. So sometimes you can't necessarily rely just on how you feel. You have to look at the physical and mental side of things as well. The way you might want to look at these things is looking at your strength, looking at your performance, looking at body composition, looking at your ability to learn and comprehend things, and also look at other things such as attention, memory, and creative imagination. Because if you're lacking in any one of these areas, the problem may be lack of sleep. So look, I think the thing that we can all take away from this at the end of the day is we have to focus on creating a routine. Even if it means you don't have the necessary ability to get more sleep, you could be doing everything that you can to get better sleep. And if your goal is to lose the most amount of fat and build the most amount of muscle and create the best physique you possibly can, sleep should be number uno on your priority list. So what do you guys think? Will you start getting more sleep? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Let me know exactly how much sleep you get per night. I want to know the averages. And also, if you guys found this video helpful, just go ahead and let me know by leaving a like. Alright guys, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified for when these videos drop each and every day. And as always guys, stay strong and I'll see you next time.